Just wanted to put together a little tutorial on how to drain and clean an endless pool. So I had called the company just to see how far the water would drain on its own, meaning when I have the pump running and everything running, how far does it drain? They weren't able to answer my question completely, so I just wanted to put a tutorial for those who come after me. See that little white valve at the base of the skimmer? This is a skimmer. The water stopped draining on its own from that point. So then I had to find a sump pump, a utility pump. So one of my assistants' husbands found this one in their storage, pulled that out, and I had to learn how to use the sump pump. So watched some YouTube videos on that, and what did they say? Of course you must prime it. Well, what does priming it mean? So this little knob here, you had to use a pipe wrench to remove that, fill that with water, which means priming it. Connect a solid hose. They said not a garden hose on the instructions. It says it right there, but I did it anyway because that's all I had and it is working fine. And then I just have this other flexible hose, so I would not use this one because it'll just suction it closed. So from there, what I had to do is I had my power off right now, and here's my utility room. Kind of a mess, but this is how everything's set up on the floor. We have our walkway to our mop sink, and my hose is emptying in there. I'll show you in a moment what that looks like. So I'll turn that back on because it's plugged in right here. So that's my only way to get power right now. And then you can see in just a moment. The hose is down at the bottom. So, because I turned it off and then turned it back on, now I'm just assuming that I need to prime it again. So this is fun. Don't turn it off and turn it back on. So, mind you, I'm a physical therapist, not a mechanic, so this is really fun. So, I just have this handy dandy cup here. I'm just gonna fill that up. Mind you, it did not work before when I didn't know what priming was either. So I'm assuming it's empty, and because it's filling up all the way here, that means it had emptied out. So there it is primed. Hopefully. We'll see if that works again. So my electrical here is all connected, like nothing's running right now because my outlet is connected to just this one. I wasn't allowed to have any outlets in the actual pool room itself. Now you can hear it working. So there you go. The key is to prime it. And now the water's starting to come out. It's struggling a little bit, so let's just see if we have any lines that are kinked. This is what they meant by don't use a garden hose because it's kinking. It's sucking it shut. So I'm just gonna unkink those and see what I get. See if I don't burn out my sump pump here. So lo and behold, they were right. Don't use a garden hose, it'll kink. Okay, so the answer there is I need to go get a hose that won't kink. So off to the hardware store again. And I'm doing this video so you won't have to make the same mistakes as me, because that sump pump is working way too hard. Water is coming out, but it's just working way too hard. So I'm gonna go get a hose that won't kink. Just to finish up the video on what we did was just open the drain. So basically just open this pipe here that drains into the floor drain right here. So that was the first more than half of the pool, and then that's what's left. As that was draining, we used some Barkeeper's Friend. So this one says mineral deposits and residues. Use that to clean up some of the residue buildup. And I don't know if I was supposed to use it or not, but I used some bleach, soft scrub. All of the little trim here gets kind of mildewy, so we cleaned all that up. And so the water was actually pretty cloudy, which is why we're draining it right now anyway. They also suggested going in and removing all the screws on the benches and cleaning under there, so once that gets down to the bottom, I'll be able to get down there with the drill and unscrew the benches. And I bought this broom just from the hardware store to clean off all the residue on the benches and then also on the liner. I was in the pool yesterday doing this, cleaning all of that off in order to make sure that everything gets drained and all that residue gets drained. I used the same brush to clean off all of the tarp, unrolled all that. Just make sure not too much water fills up on top of that. So you can see how cloudy and murky that is. We had an issue with some pipes. So because I don't want to blow out my pump, I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go get a hose that doesn't kink. You can see that one kinked pretty bad. It just sucked it shut, so pretty crappy hose. So don't use the garden hose, just like it says. They were right. So that's my little tutorial on how to clean your endless pool. So I'm going to get in there and scrub some of the other stuff before I fill it again. And then basically I just have to refill it just like we did from the start. And rebalance all the chemicals, and we should be open again on Monday to have all of our patients back in the pool. We had to put patients on hold because the water just got too cloudy after an incident where our pipe broke, and then the water was shut off for a couple days. Then we had a algae issue because the flow was shut off for several days. And there you go. Hope that helps everybody else so that they're not as flustered about how to do this as I was. Have a good one.